I feel that here in this country too. Oh my God, I'm becoming emotional. Wow. For decades, El Salvador was synonymous with gangs. It was the murder capital of the world. The gangs ruled the streets of the country. In March 2023, the brutality of gang violence was undocumented, and President Bukele announced the war on gangs. Eventually, at this point, 65,000 people were arrested. The purpose of this massive prison that they had to build is obvious: to clear the streets of El Salvador from criminals. Now, the West criticizes El Salvador for breaking the basic human rights of the prisoners. The president has the answer to this.
De repente, en estos 3 años han surgido todas las preocupaciones. ¿Y antes dónde estaban? ¿Dónde estaban cuando estos partidos de la esquina reclutaban niños y los obligaban a matar? ¿A dónde estaban? El Salvador es un país libre, soberano e independiente. Tomamos nuestras propias decisiones.
Honestly, I've been following the news of El Salvador for a few months now, and the reason for my coming here was to see the country myself, talk to the people, experience the streets, and make judgments based on what I see, not what I'm told. I think this chapter of El Salvador's life will be a very important part of its history, and I wanted to experience it in the present moment, not when it's already history. First and foremost, we're gonna go get some pupusas. I came here from Guatemala, and 2 things I noticed right away is that here are more cars, less motos, and there is no indigenous population present whatsoever. I asked you on Instagram to give me some travel recommendations in El Salvador, and somebody was like, do not go to San Salvador, but I was already here. It's been only 20 minutes that I'm out in the streets, and I already feel that I'm just gonna be fine, and I'm just gonna enjoy my time here. My God never lies to me. I feel fine. I was actually going to take a bus from Guatemala to here, but then few locals told me that the company I was going to use is openly connected to the drug cartel, and they might be carrying drugs, and the police always stop the buses and check them all the time. So I was like, okay, never mind, I'll take a flight. There are 2 official currencies in El Salvador. One is the US dollar and the other Bitcoin, but I don't think people really picked up on Bitcoins yet. Yesterday, my taxi driver told me that if I was going to pay with Bitcoins, he might as well take me back to the airport. And then I was like, relax, dude, I don't have any Bitcoins. I came here yesterday afternoon and I saw 3 people with eye patches on, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with the eyes of the people of El Salvador? But this morning I realized that my hostel is very close to the eye hospital. Frozen smoothies are the best remedies for this crazy weather. I'm ready for my walking tour now. The guy told us to meet in this square under the big tree, so I hope this is the tree. I was the only one taking this walking tour since there are not so many people in San Salvador. In this case, you do have to tip more because the whole tour is basically dedicated to you, but I got to ask him so many questions. It was all worth it. I saw this as a great opportunity to learn about the politics of El Salvador. He told me the city of San Salvador was completely divided into gang territories because more territory for the gang meant more money. The tour was so interesting that I forgot to ask him for a short interview afterwards. I had questions about Bitcoin as well, and he said that mostly people use the app Chivo to send and receive money from the United States. In that case, they avoid foreign transaction fees. Look at this famous dancer from San Salvador, 80-year-old lady who exclusively dances with guys and takes tips from them. What a legend. Then I continued the day on my own. This is my favorite part of visiting new cities. Getting lost in the streets, taking pictures, people watching, noticing what's new, old, or different. Cities inspire me a lot. The people in El Salvador are not really used to seeing tourists, and every time they see one, they stare.
I met up with these two beautiful people in the hostel. After a yoga session in the morning, we went to check out this crater inside a crater. Pretty amazing. We ate food together, and Mathilde right here ate plain sugar. I have never seen a grown up person doing this before in public.
So tell us where you're coming from and where you're going.
I'm coming from Guatemala and I'm heading to Honduras.
What can you tell to the people who want to come to El Salvador?
Salvador is one of the safest country now in Central America, so don't be afraid. Now everything is totally normal. It's like you were in Europe or in the United States. 25 por el dólar. Okay, you have people just screaming in the streets to sell you some things, but that's normal. That's Central America.
Yeah.
But you don't get it salty. There's police everywhere. Salvador is really, really, really beautiful. Go and discover El Salvador. It's worth the trip.
Yep, I agree with every single word she said. Although, unsurprisingly, catcalling is pretty common here as everywhere in Latin America, but it's pretty harmless because you're out in the streets with 100 other people and somebody screaming, "Hi, babe," from his running car is not gonna hurt you. I really try to let it go. This is such a Latin American thing to do, you have no idea. Although, it seems a little bit more organized here. The city is still developing a lot. You see a lot of constructions happening. Somebody told me that everybody who has tattoos are in the prison, which is not true. I saw a lot of people with tattoos. My taxi driver was covered in tattoos, and he told me that nobody really messes up with you if you don't have any gang-related tattoos. You see a lot of guns in the streets of San Salvador. Every big store, jewelry store, or a restaurant or a cafe has a guard with a big gun in their hands. And weirdly enough, it feels safe and unsafe at the same time being in that space with a lot of guns. Because first of all, you're like, why do they need to have guns? Is it unsafe here? But on the other hand, you also feel safe because nobody's gonna mess up with them and nobody's gonna mess up anything in this space because look at those guns, you know? Also, my guide yesterday, he told me that with the previous government, the security was a property. So the state was not providing security. So you needed to hire a company, a private company that would protect your business. So I think they're still going with the flow. They're still like not trusting the system 100%, which is understandable. The change is not going to come that easy overnight. So I don't know. They have all kinds of American fast food chains like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Papa John's, Starbucks. Where else is there? The face of the president and his family is on every souvenir item possible. We're going to a museum that apparently tells the story of the Civil War.
Latin American art is very sad. You rarely see a happy painting in the museums. I love good indie movies, but I rarely watch any Mexican movies, for example, because I already know it will be the saddest, most deeply existential movie I've ever seen, which will ruin my week, and I'm here to enjoy my life. Anyway, walking in this museum reminded me of all the other museums I've seen in Guatemala, Mexico, Colombia, Puerto Rico. Do not take this as a criticism. I love that this unites people from all over Latin America. They do not have time and most importantly the desire to paint water lilies or people having a picnic or a man and a woman walking in the rainy Paris. They had colonialism, social injustice, massacres, and dictatorships to fight. So I get it and I respect it.
You remember I said in the beginning there were no indigenous people present in the streets? And you know why? Because they rebelled against the rich and they killed them all. Beautiful story of humanity. There were and still are two main gangs in this country. They call themselves 13 and 18. Everybody who has a tattoo of one of these numbers are in jail right now, or any kind of symbol associated to these gangs. I just also want to tell you that if you ever come to El Salvador, never wear anything that says number 13 or 18 on it. It's just a big no-no. Everybody now fears to be part of any gang, so the situation in the streets is pretty safe. Locals tell me crazy things about what was happening here 3 years ago. In the city in San Salvador, gangs had imaginary lines, borders. If a civilian crossed this line that was nowhere to be found, they could have been killed for that because they were spies. Every day in El Salvador, 15 people were murdered, 15 innocent people. The best people of the country, people who chose morality over power, people who chose Christianity, humanity over money, people who just wanted to live peacefully and not be related to this violence in any way. And they were murdering them like every day like this. Although here's the thing that confuses me a little bit. Every person I talk to emphasizes that this government changed a lot and they are really grateful they can walk in the streets safely without the fear of being shot, really. But they still do not like them, and I'm trying to understand why exactly. One of the reasons is that the country is very militarized right now. There's military everywhere, so people fear the military. Second is that they're not really obeying the human rights. People are treated horribly in this prison. Some of them might be just innocent again. Nobody's investigating anything. They took their civil rights away for 1 month and they're extending it for more and more months. So people are afraid, okay, if they can do it to the prisoners, they can do it to us as well. So one day the government might decide to take my civil rights and therefore treat me like an animal. Number 4, the president doesn't have any opponent. There's no other political party equally or slightly less powerful. He has all the power. And I think number 5 is that they have been treated so poorly from the government for almost 100 years that they don't trust anybody. They don't trust that this one will do anything better. I'm going to a classical music concert and it only costs $9 fucking dollars. Oh my god, it was so beautiful. One of the most beautiful performances I've ever seen in my life. The theater was full. I felt so emotional that I started crying 3 times. And if you ask me why, I probably don't know exactly, but watching them perform, young and old, and men and women, and the director, amazing guy, the theater was full. So the audience was into it, the orchestra was into it, and it kind of made me realize how much these people just want to make art and make music and listen to music and experience art. And I felt so relieved for them. I felt like they have the normal life now. They have the chance to build a normal life. They can be happy and they can be just enjoying life. One of the reasons why I might be so interested in this culture is the experience I had in my country. So when I was a little girl, Georgia was a pretty dark place to be. There were people doing drugs outside everywhere. People were robbing you, and it was a very unfair situation. Then the revolution happened in 2003. Government basically put everybody in the prison who were using drugs or somehow were related to any kind of crime. So I remember vividly how Georgia transferred in front of my 2 eyes in couple of years. Like, it became the safest country in the world. They were like, let's put everybody in the prison, in the cárcel. Whoever's left outside, let's give them a new. And then I remembered even the commercials I saw today about El Salvador. It's like the exact same commercials I used to see in Georgia. The commercials about trusting the police, the army, traveling around Georgia, traveling around El Salvador. It's like the exact same, I swear to God. And I guess first is the fear I have because the government in Georgia kind of went overboard with the power and now they are in prison, half of them. So I fear that this president and this government might do the same. Plus, they are also pretty young, and young in power is a little bit dangerous, I think. But also, I know how they feel. Even though I was 9 or 8 years old, I still remember this relief from injustice, from the unfair system. I remember that vividly, and I feel that here in this country too. Oh my god, I'm becoming emotional. Um, wow. Whew. I don't know what's happening. um, I support them 100%, and I cheer for them, and I just want them to feel even more freedom, and they are on such a great path, and I just want them to continue that way. I feel so connected to them. You have no idea. Well, okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and come to El Salvador. It's such an unique, interesting place to be right now. Not in 5 years, right now.